Hey, Kristen here. I am building a frame for one of my paintings. Oftentimes I find that I'd rather spend my money on painting supplies and paint, canvas, than on frames. Plus, when I build my own, that I can control the quality. So then I realized, hey, maybe you might want to see what I do. So here we go. This is a on-the-spot film. So I have not staged anything. So welcome to real life and real mess. This is my painting that I am framing. It is a very awkward size, and so it would have been a custom frame if I was going to buy it. What I've done instead is I've gone to the hardware store. In this particular case, it happens to be Home Depot, and I grabbed some wood. When I'm looking for wood, I am looking for wood that's thick enough on the width of it to look proper for the frame, and deep enough to be deeper than my canvas. Normally I don't have staples on the side, and normally I do not have this thin of canvas, but this was a special canvas that was given to me by somebody, so I am using it as it is. So let me show you what it'll look like. Okay, so we see I have enough for it to stick out on the edge and to have space in the back. Woo! Whee! So you can see that I have enough room on the front and the back. Then I have some play on where I can put the canvas. You want to have enough room back here on the back side of the canvas that you can attach hanging materials without having to screw them into your canvas. So this is just a standard board that was affordable, and I think it was like $2 a foot. And you might say, well, what's the preferred board? The preferred board is the board that they have available. I mean, Poplar is too soft, but other than that, like, I'm just really limited by what they have that's finished and available, and that's what I go with. Next up is my trusty miter saw. If you are not familiar with power tools, then this might not be the project for you, but I do want to say that they're not as scary if you're being safe. So, I use this miter saw for building frames. I think it cost about $200. Memory serves me correct. It was a long time ago now. And just some real basics about it. Obviously, don't put your hands where the hands are, and you might see that my hand is bleeding. I assure you it's not from the miter saw, it's from earlier in the day. It was actually getting the miter saw out of a very crowded, just moved into garage, but I digress. So you want all of your cuts to be at a 45-degree angle. This is here where I set that up, and what I do is I just leave it here on this particular one for this whole job. And then what you do is you dry fit. So you bring up your canvas, not up to the miter saw, but I'm just going to show you here because it's a place I can set my wood down. You would put your canvas on top of the wood, and then you mark with your pencil where the canvas touches the edge, and then you can cut it. So when I cut it, I have it on edge like this. That way I have that 45-degree angle. I have this pushed in. I usually have a spacer right here because I find that I get a much clearer, safer cut when I do that. So I have my little spacer. And when I try to do things one-handed, it falls apart. Welcome into real life. Okay, I have my spacer. And I'm going to show you from this angle. This would come in like this. And then I'm not going to push the button of doom. I'm just going to pull it down. So you can see that's the angle that it cuts right there. Okay. Now, you want to practice on cheap wood a few times before you go to your real stuff. And my other big tip is cut the long ones first. Cut the long ones first, because then if you screw up, they can become the short ones. So, yeah, I've done that a bunch. Also, if they become too short, to set them aside for another painting, go back to the hardware store, grab some more wood, and try it again. sometimes that happens too. Okay, next super important tip. Make sure that you're looking at the other end of your board before you're cutting it. So you don't want to have an angle this way on this end and an angle this way on the other end, because that doesn't make your angles. You want it to be the other way. So you just always double check. So measure twice, check the end of your board twice. That'll help you. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you've done it correctly. The angle of the wood is going out away from the corner of the painting. And when I follow it all the way to the other side, there we go. So this will allow the next board to come up, and pretty soon we'll have 5 boards. I mean 4. Why did 5 come from? 4. We have 4 boards. Rectangles have 4 edges. Yes. Professional artist, I can count to 4. I promise. Okay, I have my 2 long sides cut, and next up are my 2 short sides. I'm going to try to get them out of the same piece of wood. Hopefully, otherwise I have to go back to the store. Now, to do this, I want to have my first cut as close to the edge as possible. And it's also a good opportunity to check the board and make sure if there's something that you wouldn't want to have on the outside, that you're cutting it to the inside. This board's okay. I've also reattached my spacer, and I will be putting my sunglasses back on here in a second to use the safety glasses. Do not mess around with your eyes. Protect your eyes. If you don't have your safety glasses on, don't make the cut. Go get your safety glasses and put them on. There's no excuse for having wood damage in your eyes when you could have just put on your sunglasses or whatever. So please, be safe. Okay, the cut is done. I wait until the blade stops before I reach in and do anything, because I like my fingers. Now when I measure, I'm going to measure from the inside here, going this way. Don't measure from the outside, because you have the measurement of your painting length or height from the inside. Okay, I put the measurement that I needed on the outside of the wood. That way when I flip it up, I can see where it is. Right there. So, flip there to there. Then I can put it on the edge where I need it. Okay, I'm going to dry fit my cut. So what that means is I'm going to pull the blade down without starting it and see where that's going to end up. I don't care where it ends up on the outside. I need the inside to be the correct measurement. And then I need to check my other end and make sure I'm in the right direction, which I am. Then I can hold the board safely way over here with my hand and then cut. Which I will not film because there's just me today and, you know, fingers. This is the excess board, but it's great because it's just one cut already done and I only have one cut left to do. I'll need to make sure that I turn the board over so that I've got the diagonal facing in, opposite direction as it is over here when I make this cut, but I still have to measure it. I could use my other board to measure it, but sometimes paintings aren't to the millimeter square. And so if I measure it with my other board, then I could be a little bit off. So it's always good to just dry fit it with the painting. Okay, next I'm dry fitting my corners with these nice little corner braces. And normally I would not be doing this on my super dry grassy lawn, but my garage floor is wet and painted that too. So, real life, make it work. Okay, I got the far 2 corners clamped. I'm holding the third corner and I'm not clamping it because the fourth one isn't cut. But this is how I will make sure that this last one is the right length, is by dry fitting it and really taking a good look at it. So saw safety, as soon as I am done, I pull this down and this little lever right here goes in. And that keeps this from coming up, and I unplug it. I do this every single time because I have kids and I like their fingers too. The kids know not to play with the saw, just as you teach kids not to play with guns or matches, but also, just as with those things, we're safe, right? And we try to do our best. So, the thing is, you can bring, in this case, you bring this saw forward, and then this is what clamps it from moving back and forth. And then that's pretty safe. You can't really catch your fingers on it unless you're reaching through, which, yeah, just don't do that then, right? Another thing is you want to empty your sawdust bag, because sawdust is one of those things that spontaneously combusts. So don't let it do that in your house, right? Next part of the project is going to be to sand the edges just real finely, just real light. We don't want to make a bunch of scratches. So I'm going to use 320 dry sandpaper. A little gritty, not very much. It's kind of medium. Remember, the higher the number, the finer the grain. If you're not sure, test it out on scrap. Also going to use this opportunity to look for any pencil marks and get those erased or sand it off if I can't erase them.
Please like and subscribe for more, or visit my website at kristenoneilart.com for online classes.